Hey, good evening. I am out here in the spring garden and I wanted to just jump on and do a quick update because the garden is looking so beautiful, but it looks like it's about to rain. I have all this like plant material on my face because I was just out here weed eating, and I'll show you the area where I was doing that. But let's go around the garden really quick and see what's going on before it starts to rain. Here we are in one of the rose bush beds, and I love this new phone that I got because it makes everything look so cool. There's some motherwort over here. I transplanted some from the backyard garden, and a friend just recently came and gave me some more. You can see the honeysuckle is really starting to climb the fence. There's a rose bush. Here's a rose bush. This one has a bunch of buds on it. If you look closely, you can see all the beautiful buds. And this is one that I just got the other day from the local nursery, and it's a white ice, I think it's called Ice Queen or something like that. Or let's look at I still have the tag on it. I didn't take it off. Ice Cap Rose. And then the honeysuckle again is really climbing, and I transplanted that from the back garden as well. There's Wimberley over there. All of this is from the scarlet sage that was growing here last year that went to seed. And so all of these little scarlet sage babies are coming. There's some cilantro that's going to seed right now. And I'm excited to see the coriander, the seeds from it, because I've never actually let cilantro go to seed before. Some garden sage. Here is where I cleared out all that chamomile that I distilled, and I put that on my main YouTube page as a video. This is some tulsi from a neighbor that I had actually planted deep inside of here, but the scarlet sage was so much bigger than it that it was just choking it out, so I just transplanted it. So there's a tulsi there. There's a little itty bitty tulsi over there. Holy basil. This is a small little hyssop, anise hyssop, that I also moved from under that scarlet sage. Here's some rogue spearmint and some oregano. I just harvested this way back because it was very long. Especially after I harvested the chamomile, I realized how big the oregano was. And here's a calendula that's about to flower. Also about to flower is this thistle. It's so spiky and so protective right here. Let me back up a little bit so we can focus in on it. It's hard to capture. A lot of people pull these up, but I love them because they call in the butterflies. And I think that thistles are beautiful, so I'm just gonna leave it, see what happens. It's a beautiful canna. These were gifted to me from a neighbor last year, and I kind of had to move them around to figure out where they liked to be. I have a row of them. If you look back there, there's a row of cannas that are just starting to come back, and they're in a pretty shady spot, but I like the privacy that they bring to the garden, so I'm gonna let them get big over there. Here's that purple rose. And you can see I've been just deadheading the roses and drying them to make different herbal formulations. The rose ranunculus has dropped its petals. I don't know, I'm on the cinematic mode on my phone, and maybe it's better to just take a straight video when I'm trying to focus in on plants. There's the poppies, have dropped their petals as well. Another rose bush. One of my friends has been calling this electric rose because the flowers are so bright and pink. And then they kind of have like a yellow center as well. And the hollyhocks are starting to get their flower heads. All right, it's so hard to focus. I'm gonna switch over to a regular video mode, and then I'll just connect these two videos. So I'll be right back. All right, this feels better. So let me zoom in. There's the hollyhocks. I've never grown hollyhocks before, so I'm very excited to see what those look like when they come in. And there's the electric rose where we can see it a little bit better. Down here is a pomegranate tree that's just starting to come back from the winter, and the willow is looking really beautiful. A friend gave me that willow for my birthday last June, on the solstice. This is a rock rose that's just now starting to come back as well. More cannas. This bed right here is off the chain. I pulled up my hibiscus roselle over, I guess in the fall, I pulled it up and I overwintered it inside and I put it back in the ground so that I didn't have to start from scratch, and it's already starting to flower. So I'm excited to have hibiscus roselle for the summer. Here's some onions that are still ripening. There's some sweet peas and some hollyhocks back there. The sweet peas are climbing the fence kinda. In other areas they're climbing it better. But I just came, you can see I pulled up a bunch of onions and beets to try to make space. I've been coming up and pulling out a lot of roots. Like today, my daughter and I harvested a bunch of carrot and onion. Our first year growing carrots and onions. I just can't believe the bounty from those. I'm so happy with the garden this spring. Let's zoom in. You can see there's some tomatoes already coming, and I'm stoked about that too because I wasn't sure if these tomatoes in particular were gonna make it because I planted them so early. They actually made it through a couple of really cold snaps. The clary sage, let me back up so you can just see the glory of the clary sage is standing up tall. It's about to flower. And I'm so excited to distill. You can see the little flower heads. Let me zoom in. See if I can focus. There we go. It reminds me a lot of cannabis, this plant, the way that the flowers look. But the clary sage, last year I missed my chance to distill it. I didn't have a still and I couldn't arrange with friends quick enough to distill my clary sage before it went to seed. So I missed its peak, but now that I have my own still, I can distill this right at the perfect time. So I'm so excited to distill the clary sage because it has such a pungent, beautiful aroma, and the flowers are really sticky, and I'm excited to see what comes through in the still. It's a beautiful calendula flower that bloomed. I think this bloomed like yesterday. And right here in this naked patch is where we pulled up all the carrots. So I'll post a picture of that. And I just put down some squash seeds, so some yellow crookneck squash and some zucchini, like black beauty zucchinis. Here's a beautiful fig that's healthy, and some dark lettuce that I planted towards the end of the winter. And that lettuce is doing really well. It's kind of getting choked out here by the calendula, but that's okay. Another hollyhock. This one has some of the little, whatever you call the worms that get in the leaves, but I'm not really worried about that. I'm gonna see what happens if I just leave it alone, or maybe I might get some of that Captain Jack's stuff and spray it. You can see the honeysuckle is climbing the fence, and Sapphire and her cute little babies over there. It's almost sunset, so everybody is really going into like sleepy time mode. This is a goji berry that my daughter planted last year, and in the fall I moved it over here to this fence, and it's starting to kind of climb. I'm trying to get it to climb the fence, but if you look back here, I have to do some weed eating back here. I'm kind of scared to walk over there. I'll have to do it when I have my boots on and make sure there's no snakes hiding in that tall grass. But I did just weed eat a bunch of other tall grass that was here in the garden so I can make some more beds. This fig is looking very robust and beautiful. I think it's because I laid a bunch of that goat floor down in here, probably like 2 inches of goat floor, just to give it a boost, and it really worked. It looks so happy, and the leaves are so much greener than they usually are. This is also I think its second year being in this trough, and this little guy is already starting to set fruit. So last year it set a lot of fruit, but we never got any figs, and I'm not sure if it was because we didn't have wasps that came to pollinate it or what happened, but we'll see what happens this year. The chickens are getting ready to go to bed. Everybody's back home from their foraging. They forage all day. This is a cucumber that my daughter planted, and it's looking kind of rough down below because of the roly-polies, but as it climbs up, you can see the leaves are starting to get healthier as they get off the ground. And there's even a little cucumber in there. You see it? And there are a bunch more cucumbers coming already. I just can't believe how quickly the garden is producing, and I know it's because of the attention, the extra attention that I've paid to the soil. Let's see, there's another rose bush. I don't know what those roses are going to look like, but I've just been planting as many rose bushes as possible because they're doing really well. All of a sudden, I think it's thanks to my mother. Once I dedicated my roses to her, they all started growing like crazy. There's the Peggy rose. I've been harvesting flowers off of this climbing rose every day. It's putting out all this new growth. Look at all that. This is new within the past like week. And I did put a bunch of that goat floor down at the base of the Peggy rose as well. And I've just been coming into the garden and adding the composted goat floor in as often as I can, especially when I pull stuff up. I lay down some goat floor before I go in there and put more seeds down. All of this there's some beets scattered throughout there, but mostly it's onions, and none of these are big enough to pull up yet. I've just been going in periodically and looking for ones that are big enough. Oh, well, there's one that can come up. That one there, I feel like is ready to come up, so we'll pull that up. Let me just reach my hand in here. Whenever I pull the onions up, I just kind of hit them against the rocks to get the extra soil off. That one's a good size. I've been so happy to share onions with people this year. Like I gave some to my in-laws. I took some over to some friends. I just took a bunch over to one of our neighbors. I'm just so happy to be able to share from the garden. There's the yarrow. I cut a bunch of that back to distill it, and I made a video of that as well on the main YouTube channel, not this private one. Clary sage. I pulled up a bunch of daikon radish from here, and then I saw that clary sage underneath, so I was happy about that. And then I put some motherwort there, but that clary sage may get so big that I have to move the motherwort. There's some peppermint and lemon balm. Right here is where the spearmint lives, and I just harvested the spearmint and distilled that as well. That one is actually one of my favorite distillations. And we'll end here with the passion vine because it's starting to rain, but you can see the passion vine is already starting to put on little flowers. So we did probably about a third of the garden. And every day I'm building new beds because I really want to grow as much food as possible in this space. Let me just show you the little area that I cleaned up just now, which is why I had all that plant material on my face. So these tomatoes were kind of being taken over by all of the weedy plants and grass and stuff that was over here. So I just cut it down, and I'll come through here over the next few days and really clean it up. And I think I could fit, just a couple more beds, 2 or 3 more beds over here that I can put squash or whatever else in, maybe some winter squash, or I don't know, we'll see. And I've been also sprinkling marigolds all throughout the beds. So I will check in with y'all later. We'll end on this beautiful clary sage as the rain starts to fall. And yeah, if there's anything that you guys would like to see me try to grow anyway, then let me know. I'm always excited to try new things, especially as we enter the spring and, well, we're in the spring, as we approach the summer. If y'all have any suggestions for things that you'd like to see me try to grow, just let me know. And it's almost time, I think, to plant corn. So we'll do the remaining parts of the garden in another video. I'm so grateful for this rain. Wherever you are, I hope that you're enjoying this spring, getting lots of gardening done, and also getting some time for rest. I'll talk to you guys later.